Let me do that.
Oh, yeah. All right, let's Kyle get his hat. On the air. There you go.
It's not often it happens, but my hair kind of does look like hell. Anyways.
So the game report, week 6 with the man Kyle Nash. Hey, what a week of football, huh?
With the man Kyle Nash. You sound so bored introducing me now, man. You're all like talking trash.
Is that better?
It's much better. And talking trash on the message like, oh my God, I'm so stoked for content.
Yeah, I said it.
And I'm the one playing hurt on the podcast here. WTF, mate.
No, that is true. You are the one playing hurt today. So.
That's right. Of course, playing hurt, I am still better than you. No one's shocked. Moving on.
I'm not gonna. A little bit, just a bit.
You got a little Joker laugh out of it. You're good.
Okay, nah, it's all good. I'm on a snowflake anyway. We got a lot of shit going on. We got a lot. I mean, where do you start? I mean, seriously, where do you start?
Fella's crazy. College is crazy.
College is crazy. Let's start with Jon Gruden, though. I mean, that's the big, right. Just for the record, and I know when you texted me earlier.
Here we go.
You texted me earlier. You said this earlier, like I'm so glad I'm not talking about Urban Meyer. Right now, in this moment, the most happiest person on the planet right now is Urban Meyer because no more attention towards him.
Yeah, you got to think so, right? No, and actually, it was funny. The head of the 3-point conversion, controversy, Raphael Haynes. Bing!
Yeah.
Actually asked me about my opinion on what's going to happen to Urban Meyer. And I said to him, look, if he gets let go, it won't be till the end of the season, right? Because if all the other stuff, like that one coach he was trying to hire that, had certain racist undertones surrounding him and all the other stuff that's going on leading up to this shouldn't be what makes you want to fire him immediately. Khan has also showed a history of being patient with people. I mean, look at how long the previous administration was around while the Jags were doing, I won't even say mediocre, I'll say poorly, right? And this coming out now and basically stealing the news cycle pretty much is another blow in Urban Meyer's favor, oddly enough. Granted, there'll probably still be jokes going around the Jacksonville press corps.
Yeah, I'm sure.
But
at least for now, it does temper the conversation loop right now. As you guys know, I don't know what we're talking about. Of course, Jon Gruden resigned as head coach last night during actually the Monday Night Football game. That news broke pretty swiftly. Obviously, if you don't know, this is also regards to information. So what's going on here is the NFL is currently investigating the Washington football team. This is not Raiders investigation. This is the investigation for another team.
The Washington Red Tails.
Red Tails, by the way. Yes, you're soon to be hopefully named in the future of that squad.
I'm trying to will it into existence, Ernest Christian.
And in that email we saw over the weekend, we saw comments about Jon Gruden made about Roger Goodell and especially about DeMaurice Smith, the head of the Players Association of the NFL.
And we're going to go all around. Michael Sam's drafting as well.
Yeah. Which then added also to the Michael Sam thing, also to the comments about hiring, gays or drafting gays.
And then the female official comment.
And female officials as well, too, yes. So there's a lot of things like Pella. Now, initially, when I heard the story, a couple days ago,
right,
to me, it was a, okay, he's an asshole. Okay, we get it.
That's not news.
That's nothing new. And furthermore, when he made those comments in 2011 about Roger Goodell being the F word, which is a gay slur, of course, I won't say on the show.
Let's say a British cigarette, because the F words that are usually dropped on this show are,
fuck.
Right.
Yeah.
Correct.
Anyway, no. Basically, he was not an NFL employee. He was actually an employee at the time of ESPN, who was part of the Monday Night Football crew.
Right.
But now we've heard more stuff, more leaks come out from these emails. This feels like 2016 over again, the Hillary and stuff. Right. We hear more stuff coming out now in those emails of what he's basically misogyny and anti-gay and all that, and So obviously, with the added stuff, I'm okay with the decision being made to part way with him. But I guess more than anything else, let's just have an open conversation about Jon Gruden as a whole, where this story started, where it's at now, and was it handled correctly and whatnot.
So those are three very different questions, right? Okay, so just a couple things to get out of the way. I don't know exactly the context of everything that was said. Like I know his comments about DeMar Smith are getting drummed up, and I think we're among the first of the problem areas that came up. I've not seen those comments yet,
Yeah.
so I'm not in position to comment on that nor throw around calling Gruden a racist. I'm not there. But him saying what he said from the misogyny standpoint and having comments about bringing women up through the officiating ranks, which, obviously I'm in favor of. And I think he also said stuff regarding Eric Reed and the protesting of the flag and all the other stuff.
Also anti-concussions, also the anti-concussion thing as well. Excuse me. Bless you.
Yeah, but there are players that fall into that category, so I'm not really prepared to use that as an indictment either.
Right.
But I mean, for me, what does it is the comments about him standing in the way of the progress for things that the NFL is trying to do, and being more tolerant with women and the gay community, right? Now some of their ad campaigns are absolutely ridiculous. Let's not get away from that. But I believe what they're trying to do is rooted, right? I can see, for example, a guy like him being, if there's any truth to the rumor that the Rams were kind of air quotes encouraged to draft Michael Sam, even though, he wasn't necessarily the right guy, and him being quickly let out of the league because of his lack of talent rather than his preference is certainly evidence of that. That's one thing. But to use some of the language that you did and I don't know how long, I forget the number of years that ago it was that Michael Sam was drafted. Thus, I do know it's probably like what? Okay, I was going to say 4 or 5. Apparently, it's more than that because Jeff Fisher was still with the Rams, so that's how far back that goes.
He actually lost his job, I think the months later after that draft.
Say again?
I think he lost his job, I think 6 months later after.
That sounds about right. Yeah, right. And he had transitioned to being some sort of an official with the Alliance of American Football.
Right.
So he was at that press conference. It was very interesting. Anyways, so that there's enough of a preponderance of evidence.
Well, I think we lost Kyle. Give me a second. It's probably on his end.
No, your face is on your end. You said
no. It literally paused. Like you say, evidence, and then literally the screen just froze, like literally 12 seconds.
So
you're good now.
The preponderance is evidence because nothing stopped on my side, but it stopped on yours. Is your bandwidth? Tell Spectrum to stop sucking or get a better modem. Moving on.
I got Comcast.
Okay, well that says everything you need to know. Anyways, listen, if you don't like me dunking, stop throwing alley-oops. All right. I'm dunking with your alley-oops playing hurt. This is interesting.
That's right.
So, yeah, but I mean, to put the bow on it, there's a preponderance of enough here to justify what was done, in my opinion. And I'm not for taking people's jobs for stuff they said years ago, but and
I did it again. It did it again. Recording stopped. Kyle's in pensive mode right there. If you see it on camera, guys, on YouTube. He's playing hurt, but so is the fucking recording. Let's see this.
I know the defense is everything you're saying right now. You just don't hear me. And you're talking. I can hear you.
Hopefully it picks up on the final draft of this whole thing.
I don't know. But
keep going. Go ahead.
I'll say there's a preponderance of evidence for enough to have gone wrong to kind of justify what's going on. And I'm not in favor of crushing people for something they've done 10 years ago, 7 years ago, what have you. But
yeah, I'm with you. The gotcha thing's got to stop.
But there's enough of it here, like I said, the preponderance to where I could see why the eyebrows are raised, especially in this environment. And I know that but Kyle, he wasn't working for the NFL, but he's a prominent enough figure that whoever is retaining him at the moment can't play the Nuremberg yuppie defense, you know.
Yeah, and not only that, Kyle, but even even you understand at a granular level, even if you want to keep him on the team, for example, that was obviously an option.
Right.
How would that look to that locker room? You're leading 53 men or more than that, plus coaches and stuff. That's gonna cause a lot of friction anyway.
Right. Because it's the head of those guys' union for context.
Right. Exactly.
Right.
And people don't understand that. They look at it as a, not saying race here, but black and white situation. Like, oh well, just whatever, get over it and deal with it. No, there's a lot of personalities in there that are not gonna feel comfortable being led by that guy making those comments. I mean, put it this way: if you're a parent, would you want to send your kid to his school? Say he was a college head coach, and you're a parent. I'm not saying you, but people listen to this podcast. Would you want to send your kid to him to coach your child? I mean, that's what I'm saying. I mean, it comes down to this really.
Yeah. What can he? Well, and here's the physics. If it were my son, and I knew more exactly about what he was saying, maybe, but not my daughter, based on what we do know.
Yes, absolutely.
Right? So
right. So and I've never been, not that it really matters in this conversation. I've never been a big Gruden guy anyway. I thought he's overrated. I mean, certainly was you and I were very critical of the hire from the word go when he was hired by.
Yeah, he's doing a lot better than I thought I would. To his credit,
he has turned things around a little bit.
One can't help but notice when he's finding success is when this ish comes out. That's very interesting.
It is interesting. I mean, again, this was an investigation against the Washington football team, and somehow I'm really curious. And Bomani Jones actually tweeted this earlier today, and I agree with him 100%. Imagine if you're going through emails of Washington football team, what was said about Robert Griffin III back when? Imagine if there's dirt on there, if emails going back to 2014, 13. Can you imagine the conversations about RG3 back when?
Why is RG3 the focus?
I'm just saying, like, you think about like, if you're going through emails and you find dirt on emails on Jon Gruden, could you just imagine other topics that may come out of these emails that may be quote unquote scandalous?
I'm more curious about his comments toward Dan Snyder than I am RG3. Because again, at this point, I don't think there's enough there to slap him with a racist tag. But
you mean on Gruden?
Yeah. But I am curious to hear what he had to say about what Daniel Snyder was doing in there. Yeah.
No, he's a misogynist, definitely. He's definitely and I mean, obviously his comments is anti-gay. Is he racist? I mean, I guess not. I don't know. There's nothing to say that he was. The Morris Smith comments are the ones that come close to questioning whether or not he's a racist.
And again, I'm going to say that I have not found those yet. I have not seen the actual comments.
Basically, the quote. There's no quote here, but it's basically using the big lip comments, rubber lips.
That's. Yeah, again, I would need context for that because, as I understand, he was accusing him of lying and making a comment about someone's lips that are telling, your lips are moving, so you lie. Now, granted, there's an unfortunate opportunity for something to go completely wrong there.
And this is the kind of the whole blurry thing now, when especially in the era of Me Too and SJW and all that any little thing can be misconstrued as the worst case scenario, which it may not be. I'm not saying it is, it isn't. I'm not saying it may not be. So, him making a comment about DeMaurice Smith lying and big lips. I mean, black folks might look at it as, oh, you're making fun of big black guy, big lips. Oh, you're racist. Not necessarily. DeMaurice Smith has been criticized by many people for being a liar in general.
Yeah, he's right.
Right. So,
as a lawyer in his position would be. And I mean, I know he's not the union lawyer, but that was his previous profession, and now he's in a very political place,
Yeah, so let's look at this more broadly. I'm not one to agree with Jason Whitlock, but could we not be all oversensitive about every fucking thing that's said?
Right.
That's all I'm saying. I'm not.
And the reason why I don't want to spend too much time defending that is it's kind of pointless because there's enough there that's flat out and blatant that he should be let go for. But, and I'll put it this way too. If he were that racist, he led how many teams? He led a team to the Super Bowl and has been coaching teams dealing with players of color. I won't just say black, players of color.
Hispanic, you name it.
Between that span, dealing with student athletes who are about to get drafted of color, and obviously white kids as well, right? Because whatever, but and nothing else has come out other than that. You're not selling me on that part,
right. I'm with you. All right, let's get on the field stuff now. Just Gruden things to burn me out now. I think I think we're about to find out how valuable Russell Wilson is. I mean, we already know how you and I already know how.
I'm about to say the world about to find out. Some of us already bleeding.
By him not being there, and him missed about 4 to 6 weeks due to finger injury. Was a dislocated finger. Yeah, Geno Smith is the quarterback for the next couple weeks. Yeah, Seattle about to implode, bro. Seattle about to implode. And the reason this is important is this is a two-pronged topic here.
Yeah.
Just because of Seattle imploding probably about Russ, but this opens up everything for the NFC now, because if you look at the NFC right now, it's really top-heavy. It's Tampa, Arizona, Green Bay, Dallas, right? Then you get to the wild cards going to get a little weird now, because look at all the teams in the wild card now that started today. 3-2 teams.
Right.
Can't trust them. The Saints can't trust them.
Yeah.
And then even all of a sudden now, and I hate to fucking say this, because it's an exciting Danny Thompson, your boy, and my boy as well too. But the Falcons could be considered a wild card team now.
Stop it.
Because the NFC now, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but the NFC just got wide open because Seattle took some out of the conversation. That's why.
No, first of all, damn you, sir. Damn you, not just for being a bad analyst right there, but for giving my friend Danny Thompson false hope. You are a horrible human being, and you should feel terrible.
They're 2-3.
False hope. Don't you do it. Don't you dare it, Ernest Christian. You need to protect that man from himself, and you are an enabler, sir. Okay, yeah. You are going to be left behind when I send out the invitations for the intervention, because you, sir, are an enabler.
Eagles have a chance now, 2-3.
But you know what? You know what's interesting? Just like the Saints, I can't figure out the Eagles either. Like, they went and got smacked by the Cowboys. And then they come out and perform and do pretty well last week. Jalen Hurts showing signs of life,
Boy.
So here's the thing about analyzing for the playoffs when you're less than a third of the season in. Okay, yeah. I'll just leave it at that.
I'm just saying. If you look at NFC, Dallas shoe-in, obviously. Green Bay shoe-in, obviously, division. Tampa shoe-in, obviously.
Right.
Let's give it to Arizona no matter what. Whatever happens, whether the Rams win division or they win. Arizona Rams, you swap it at the end of the year. 1 and 2 is going to win the division.
Yeah, because one's got the division, one's got the top wild card. Okay. Correct.
Then you figure out, okay, well then whoever of those two doesn't make it, okay, they get one of the wild cards. That leaves 2 wild cards open right now. Okay,
yeah.
2 wild cards. Okay?
And I'll add you this: I don't believe the Niners are going to make it either at this rate.
But there you go. But that's the conundrum though, because now, what other teams that I did not mention can you say? You know what? They are a playoff team, even if they missed it. That was Seattle. Seattle was that team, right. And that was now. Granted, if Russ is back in the month and none of those 2-3 teams pull away, and Seattle seems to at least hold the ship down, then Seattle could be a player again.
I swear to God, Ernest Christian, I don't care what the damn stats are, all right? If y'all expletive deleters don't at least consider Russell Carrington Wilson as an MVP candidate if he's hurt and then takes him into the damn playoffs, man, listen, I'm not going to promise violence, but I'm just going to be proven about how right I am again about you hater-ass haters.
Yeah. So again, I think that the Seattle thing is bigger than just Russell Wilson being gone. It opens the door for.
That being said, here's going to be my latest conspiracy theory.
Okay.
Here's where I'm going to slightly agree with our good friend Big Jim Neese.
Okay.
I think the Bears have to be considered a playoff threat. Well, if Justin Fields continues to improve, man, listen.
But again, it's by default because it's like the Saints by default because they're 3-2 right now. How they're 3-2, we don't know because we've seen
We've seen more identity.
Yeah.
We've seen more identity from the Bears than we have the Saints. Let me tell you what I mean with that.
Yes, I agree with you on that, by the way.
Okay, yeah. And let me tell you the people at home who are listening then why I'm saying that, right? Jameis has been the guy since moment one in New Orleans, right? When has Justin Fields struggled? His first game, and his first game only so far. Okay. Which, by the way, where's all the Matt Nagy haters now that he's doing well? This was.
They beat a what we consider a good Raiders team.
I agree. Now, granted, maybe the front office was already in disarray because, or I should say the campus in Oakland, or excuse me, Vegas there was already in disarray because this is starting to come up with the stuff about him.
Right.
But listen, y'all need to stop with your Falcon support.
I don't expect it to happen. All I'm saying to you is that removing Seattle out, because remember, you and I both, whatever, I copy your paper. I had all 4 teams in the West going to the playoffs. You take out Seattle, San Fran's struggling all too. That opens the door for anything to happen. The Vikings, anyone could pop in there.
No, stop it.
And I say it's going to happen, but it opens the door. Again,
it opens the door for the Bears and maybe the Eagles. You need to stop with teams that.
Now, if the playoffs start today, your playoff teams right now are the 4 division windows, as mentioned earlier: Rams, Saints, not Saints, Rams, Saints, Bears are your playoff team right now.
Okay, that's adorable. We're less than a third of the season in.
Right, no, I'm saying, but look at like I said, it opens a lot of shit going forward.
That's why cream on the burner. Let it float to the top and let everything else sink. Okay.
And this is why I mentioned that, because we'll see what happens.
And the last point, for the rest of 2021, you are no longer allowed to use the nickname Fraud Cons because of what you just said about the Falcons.
No. But again, you're saying it as though like made it a case that they're going to be in the playoffs. No, I don't think they'll get there. I'm just saying now the door is open because they're 2-3. I don't know how the fuck they're 2-3, but
listen. Well, no, I'll tell you how. One of them is the Jets,
and one of the Giants.
What can I say except you're welcome? See, okay, this is why that. And you being an enabler and messing with the mind of my good friend Danny Thompson, you deserve punitive action. You are not allowed to say fraud cons for the rest of the year.
They are frauds. They are frauds.
You could call them frauds, you just can't use that word. It's kind of like you're an FSU fan, so you should not be allowed to use rock memes on your Facebook page.
1 2 in a row, that's on the record. Which
I know, I love that. You're making Jackson State look like a good football team now.
Yeah, right. What else?
Giving weight to that FSU win.
Exactly. What else going to? Okay. Speaking of struggles, also the Kansas City Chiefs, and early in the podcast, and I posted. I don't know if you saw my rankings yet, but I posted it on social media. I said, and I got a lot of grief last couple weeks from people, Mike, the Squid included, about the Chiefs had them too high, this and that. Even last week, and I said that it'll work itself out. If the Bills beat the Chiefs are out, no matter how you slice it. What I didn't equate for was
how much
3-1 team in week 5 losing.
Yeah.
That would have taken their place, obviously.
Yeah.
So what you have here is now the top tier of the league right now thinning out a lot faster than we realize. So the Chiefs are my number 10 team on my list right now because of that, by default. Because I'll say it again, when I do my rankings, and it's 3 things to look at. I look at obviously a snapshot in the moment. Also look at trust in that said franchise, and then what I projected it to be.
Okay. Right.
Trust the Chiefs / Patrick Mahomes. I still think they'll make the playoffs.
Right.
So Chiefs struggles. Are you concerned? Should you be concerned? Should Chiefs be concerned? Is this a little blip? I mean, look, they're probably maybe the Super Bowl might be a little out of question right now based on how their defense are playing, but are they still a playoff team right now in your eyes this season at 2-3?
So you asked a number of different questions. I got to kind of break that down.
Shit, right? I'm going to stock in a ballot.
Right, but I'm going to do my best Neil deGrasse Tyson impression and say, okay, there's a lot there, so let's unpack it. And if you don't listen to Star Talk, that's your problem, you uncultured sons of beep. Anyways, Chuck Nice for the win, bitches. You are my Chuck Nice, and you should take that as a compliment.
Yeah.
So I just compared myself to Neil deGrasse Tyson. Jesus, I have a big ego. Anyways, but am I really wrong?
A little lighter side, but it's okay.
Dude, Neil deGrasse Tyson's funny. You need to shut your face, dude. He's hilarious.
He's intelligent, it's funny, you name it.
But no, but to get back on track, first of all, listen to Star Talk after you're done with this. And then listen to Hilarity by Default. So then, bing. But okay. So the first question was, should we be concerned? Here's the reason why the answer to that question is yes. Thank you, sir. Patrick LeVon Mahomes II has even said, hey, I need to look at things and reevaluate. That tells me it's time to be concerned. Also, injuries are becoming a factor. Listen, I cover the UCF Knights for the three-point conversion. Bing! If that shouldn't tell you about life as injury concerns and things that I write about, so be it. I couldn't say ding then, I was ranting, but I'll get into now. Bing! Good job, BJ. Especially when they're about to face the number 3 team in the nation, allegedly. So, yes, it's time to be concerned. Okay. You know, I gave them the tough schedule defense, and it still very much applies. But I think it's the manner in which they were dominated that's problematic. And again, 31st in so many defensive categories, blah, 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 blah. What I think is going to happen is we have heard Patrick LeVon Mahomes on the mic say I'm going to reevaluate things and find things and change how I do them. And when he does, he'll go back to winning games 45-37, right? Or 45-35, let's say, 45-38, whatever.
This is why I'm not concerned heavily about the Chiefs right now in this moment. Okay, at least for the next couple of weeks.
Well, that and there's historical precedent here, Julius. Yeah. You ready? Mm-hmm. Remember when they made it to the first of 3 Super Bowls in a row? Oh, that's right, they didn't because Tom Brady got bailed the F out and took your Patriots to the playoffs one last time, only to get eliminated by the Titans. You remember that?
Yeah, a little bit of burnout.
So if you remember correctly, that team, their defense was terrible too.
Yep.
And they were one lucky break away for Thomas Edward Bieber Brady.
Yep.
To get to that Super Bowl that year too.
Hasn't really been that good anyway for the entirety of Mahomes' career there. So
right. They when they won the Super Bowl, they were what they call the opportunistic defense, meaning we're going to take every risk we can to make sure you make mistakes.
They were the Saints, so 2010 they won it. 2009.
Yeah, you're talking about the Super Bowl, right? And see, here's what I figured out in my years as a student of the game, Ernest Christian. Opportunistic means we're going to throw everything we can at you because we have to cover up too many issues in our defense, and we can't. We're trying to go and get our high school degree late. We're going to be a GED, a good enough defense. Okay.
This is what I'm not concerned about, at least in the moment right now.
Right.
The next 3 games, so close to October. Of course, the last game's in November 1st, but whatever. They play the Red Tails, Washington football team.
Yep.
Next week.
A very winnable affair.
They go to Tennessee, which is a weird game, but I mean Tennessee is so untrustworthy. You don't know where to go with that one. They
needed so many officiating breaks and a horrible coaching decision and so much help just to beat the Jacksonville Jaguars.
You were there.
I was there, so I can remark it. The officials helped them a lot.
And then the Giants at home, which come on, let's get real.
By the way, I'm so sorry to hear about Saquon Barkley. That's terrible.
They can't get the break. It is what it is. But
I mean, that helps you as a Patriots fan. But
by the time we get to November, they will be probably 5-3, and probably ascending at that point.
That is not a problematic place to be.
Exactly. So this is why perspective, who you're trusting. This is why. Okay, if this is not every 2 and 3 team is created equal. It's that simple. So
see, this is how I know you're not a Giants fan, because the Parcells statement is you are what your record says you are.
Yeah, but he's kind of wrong on that too.
Definitely.
He's kind of wrong with that. Like it applies to certain situations, not to every situation.
So because you were able to agree with him in some situations, that means you're a Patriots fan again from his time when he was coaching there.
Yeah. Yeah.
I am messing with you so hard.
You can argue that the Parcells angle is what got me become a Pats fan. Oh, wait a second. Joking.
Oh, you said it. Boom. I win.
I'm joking. Okay, I want to list off a couple teams here before we get you out of here.
Good job, Chuck.
Panic me. 1 to 10. I'm gonna list a couple teams randomly here, and you tell me if they are in trouble, or 10 being most trouble, 1 being not enough issues.
10 is dear Christ, and 1 is bitch please. Okay, got it.
Let's go for New England Patriots, my favorite team allegedly, 2 and 3.
Yeah, listen, Pats fan, I'll tell you, this isn't the year to buy jerseys, man. I know that division isn't as good as we would have thought it would be. But yeah, it's problematic, man. I mean, you got a freshman quarterback, aka rookie. They're not explosive enough. It's the same problem they had when Thomas Edward Brady left. They just don't have enough explosive weapons, and James White's hurt and all that stuff. I'm gonna put it at a 7.
Okay. Next team here, we have the Denver Broncos, lost 2 in a row.
Y'all should have been panicked when the season started. That's a straight up 10. Dear Jesus.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. The Las Vegas Raiders now also lost 2 in a row, 3 and 2, and now lost the head coach, Jon Gruden, as you mentioned.
I would have said a 6 with the Gruden stuff and all that added to it. And perhaps I'm a little sensitive to it because now I've been officially in a press corps that is dealing with that sort of thing. So maybe I'm overcompensating for it, but I'm saying 8.
Okay. Kansas City Chiefs, 2 and 3.
6.
Okay.
And the only reason why it's 6 and not 5, like right in the middle, is Patrick LaVon Mahomes II acknowledge he needs to make adjustments, and the injuries. Actually, with the injuries, I'll put it to 7. Put it to 7 for now.
Here's a good one, actually. The Cleveland Browns, 3 and 2.
Their schedule is about to get a butt ton easier. Okay. They still have outings in Pittsburgh, and depending on Joe Burrow's health with the throat contusion, that could go either way. That schedule's about to get a little easier on them. So I'm gonna put it at 5 at best.
Okay.
But if you're ever late in the fourth quarter and you need Baker Mayfield to win the game for you, straight 10. Moving on. Actually, 10.5.
Wow. Okay. How about this team? They almost won last night in Monday Night Football, but they did not win. The Indianapolis Colts, 1 and 4, playing in the AFC South though, still an avenue to probably steal it if you get. They've been playing better last couple weeks though.
Yeah, they have, but just simply because so many people are hurt like that. I mean, I don't think Quentin Nelson's coming back. That alone makes it a 7 or 8 if you have Carson Wentz in the backfield.
Why Carson Wentz did play well last night though.
He did, but how much longer does he stay upright doing it?
That's the question. If he stays upright, maybe there's an avenue because Tennessee is kind of wonky. So
hey, but props to Jonathan Taylor doing the damn thing.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I knew he was going to be good. I didn't expect it. I expected him to be more of a Tony Pollard kind of contributor, and here he is taking control of that backfield. Good for him.
Mm-hmm. All right, the Washington football team, 2 and 3, kind of up and down.
Listen, man, I was at 10 when they decided to make Fitzmagic their quarterback. I like Heineke, but I'm going to need a lot more beer before you think I'm calling them a playoff team.
Right.
See what I did with the beer? Yeah.
Seattle, I like that Heineke. My way, I'm a Heineke fan myself. He should be the starter the rest of the year. So
I mean, I'm more of a Yingling guy, but you see where I'm going.
No, I like Yingling too. Me too. The Philadelphia Eagles, 2 and 3.
Gosh, this time last week I would probably have them at 8 or 9, but I'm going to lower that to a 5 or 6. I need to see what they're going to do one more week before I'm truly worried about them because with Rusty being where he is, they have the opportunity to string together maybe a few games and give themselves a little padding. Because I have a feeling that has the potential to be the big wild card battle. It'll be, in my opinion, right now today, which could, subject to change. It's going to be Bears, Philly, and
New Orleans.
Seattle, right? New Orleans will play themselves out of it. I have no faith in New Orleans.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So
they still got 2 games against Thomas Edward Bieber Brady. So
let's go there real quick. The New Orleans Saints, 3 and 2, despite the wonky, great
10.
1 week.
Straight 10. Ambiguity is the scariest thing you could have in the NFL.
Strange.
And maybe it's unwarranted but see, you're hanging too much up on the good side with the fact that the Packers had an anomalous week themselves. So I've only seen a lot of bad from the Saints in comparison. Sure, they'll fake it and you damn near lost to the Red Tails. Stop it.
The Seahawks.
10. As long as you don't have Rusty, you're effed.
Yeah, I agree.
Geno Smith, are you kidding me? This is the guy. God, this is the guy that did so bad. People are gonna get mad at this, but I'm gonna say it anyway. This is a guy whose team actually. The reason why you ever heard of Ryan Fitzpatrick in the back half of his career is because this guy got punched in the face.
Okay.
Okay.
Right. All right. Next one here. When was done? Let's see here. The Bears 3-2. Somehow 3-2. Somehow they've climbed the way out of.
And his name is, and their names are Matt Nagy and Justin Fields. Granted, they've had some easier games to play, but, looking like, I'll put it this way: the Browns matched up incredibly well against them that way. Like the Bears were trying to do things that the Browns are specifically good at. And if you want to criticize Matt Nagy for that is actually a good criticism, but you also had a rookie quarterback, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Punchline being, with Fields at the helm and them starting to put things together and getting confidence right, how do you panic about this team?
Right.
3.
Vikings 2-3.
8.
Oof. And
you like that?
Yeah, I like that. 2 more things here. Carolina Panthers lost 2 in a row, now 3-2.
I'll put it this way: like, if you're a Carolina Panther fan, you should be an 8. But like, for those of us who saw them as the frauds that they are, 3. No, you know what? I'm gonna do, bitch, please, 1.
And finally, America's favorite team, of course, the Atlanta Fraudcons. I said it.
Okay. First of all, after the podcast, I need you to get a pair of pliers and pull at least 2 toenails out of your foot. It's your punitive punishment for not adhering to your penalty. And then also, I'm going to hack your phone so you can no longer use memes of The Rock.
Oh, jeez.
Listen, man, my law is strong. How can you be concerned about a team that you already thought was going to be effing horrible? Yeah. So I'm gonna put it at a bitch, please.
All right.
I'm gonna put it at a bitch, please. That's funny.
We got here one more thing. College football, real quick.
Yes.
Alabama went down. Now again, the wonky season gets wonkier and wonkier and wonkier. Right now, your 3 best teams right now in college football, based on the AP, are as follows: they are Georgia, they are Cincinnati, they are Iowa. Was it Iowa 2 or
Iowa 2
and
Iowa.
Cincinnati?
Right.
And then Oklahoma 4. Who pulled on a miracle against Texas on Saturday.
So,
like I said, it got weird because when Oregon too early, man. Oregon too early, and I hate to say this, Ohio State's making a comeback. I hate to say it.
Well, didn't I tell you what happened?
Yeah. And they have enough important games ahead in the schedule to justify being in top 4 if they do their job.
You're absolutely right, and I'll tell you, here's where Big Jim Nice is 100% correct, but it's also going to screw the committee at the same time, right? What? People put too much weight into preseason rankings. The only reason Cincinnati, for example, is number 3 is because of a preseason ranking. Their strength of schedule is absolutely awful.
It was spotted.
Yes. What's that?
It was spotted too high.
Correct, right? Notre Dame is not a good football team this year. Sorry, Jim, but you know it to be true, all right? You needed overtime to beat a team that lost to Jacksonville State. You needed breaks and prayers to beat Toledo and Purdue. You crushed Wisconsin, which, I mean, listen, I'll give you credit, except for the fact that Wisconsin ain't all that good this year. And then, who was it? They snuck by, what was it, Virginia? Or some ACC team you barely beat, which we already know on this show how bad and overrated the ACC is. You know what Notre Dame is right now? An ACC team whose contract ran out. I can't even call them mercenaries anymore. Okay. But nonetheless, the reason why I focus so much on them is that win is being used way too much to propel Cincinnati up. That being said, they're going to be here's what's going to happen, right? It makes a ton of sense. They're going to let Cincinnati in just in time to get away from the 14 playoff system. right?
Yeah.
But you've heard me arguing fervently that against the fact they'll actually get in because of the committee. But when Alabama did what Alabama did, we still might be able to get 2 SEC teams into the college football playoff this year. But I don't see the chances of that just dropped a lot. Alabama has to beat Georgia and then beat them again in the conference championship for that to happen.
Yeah, you got a good point there. But like I said, this is we're already 6 weeks into the college football season. There's still 6 weeks more of college football ahead of us. It's going to be. I mean, we're already here now. Woo.
In Cincinnati's defense, though, the one thing that had to happen is happening. They had to be the only undefeated team remaining in the top 25, and we have that. I mean, there may be another one, but I don't know who it is.
Right. So. Anyway, plug away.
Yes, of course. I'm Kyle Nash, the student gang. You can find me on Twitter as the SOTG. Find me on Instagram as the same, the SOTG. Find me on Facebook as the student of the game. Check out my work on the 3pointconversion.com. That's the number 3, not the word 3. My good friend Controversy Raphael Haynes will soon have posted up all my stuff surrounding the UCF Knights from this past weekend and the press conference on Monday, as well as my work covering the Jacksonville Jaguars for them as well. And then also my coverage of the Jags through the Captain and Company morning show on oldschool101.com and A7BN Sports. Of course, check out my pop culture offering in the form of Hilarity by Default on the Hilarity by Default YouTube channel. Demos is saying that tomorrow is premiere day.
I said it's on the 13th.
Correct. Yes. I'm glad you remembered that date. I don't know why you would have. It's not a podcast. It's on video, so you don't care.
Fuck you, but
that's just how good a podcast host you are there, Ernest Julius Christian. You aren't going to watch it, but you're sure going to help me plug it, and that's okay.
Hell yeah. I will watch it for record. I will watch it. So. And
then lately, I suppose I should be able to confidently call myself a special contributor to the In the Huddle podcast with our friend Big Jim, right?
Oh, Huddle Up, you mean?
Huddle Up. Thank you. I said it wrong.
Yeah, we're his lackeys now.
I thought you were going to say support, but okay.
No, I'm joking, of course. No, we were now.
Of course, we're joking. We have to make that joke. Big Jim is the damn celebrity here, right?
Yeah. No, he's celebrity here. On his show was a different story.
I thought he was the celebrity there too. Of course, and then shouts to another of his panelists, Matt, who rivals AJ Hawk in his awesomeness.
Matt Muleson, Homer of the Irish, Homer of the Eagles. How do you get that? I don't get it.
Right. The Irish,
and
then Big Jim's a Cowboy fan, and then you're on as a Patriots fan. It's just very confusing.
I'm a Patriots fan, though. The lies!
Other than the fact that they're absolutely accurate, sure.
Anyway, Kyle, I will see you, even though this podcast is dropping on Wednesday, I will see you tonight on Huddle Up as we do our soiree.
That's meta as hell, and the only thing more meta than that is me telling you, class dismissed.
Good job, man.